Looks like we're up and running. It's been a couple of weeks. Good to be back. Today's flight, let's preview it real fast. For today's flight, we are going to be flying from Ogden, Utah, Hinckley Airport, to U-55, which is Panguitch. This is part of the Alphabet Challenge that I put together for PilotEdge. We'll be doing the flight on PilotEdge. We're going to try the Cirrus SF-50 Vision Jet today from the default install of X-Plane. I've only flown it once or twice, but I think we'll make it work. And one of the reasons we're doing that is this is a pretty long flight, and I've got a long way to go. Pardon me. And I want to try to get it done in an hour, hour and a half or so. So we're at Ogden. Ogden is a class Delta. In the real world, it would be towered. It is untowered in PilotEdge, so we'll be treating it as an untowered airport, which means we'll be using the Common Traffic Advisory Frequency 122.9er to make our calls. And then we'll be departing. And then basically, we're not going to fly the Bravo transition. I've flown the Bravo transition quite a bit through Salt Lake City on the stream in the past few months. And I wanted to get some altitude today since we are theoretically in a pressurized aircraft. So we're going to fly north to get out of the Bravo shelf area. We've got to stay below 9,000 feet. We'll do that at 7,500. Shouldn't take but just a minute. And then while we're here, we will then climb up to 14.5. Just do a circling climb, staying clear of the Bravo shelf, and then we'll fly over the top of the Salt Lake City Bravo. Should be a cool simulated view out the windows with the ortho scenery. Basically over the Salt Lake City Bravo, over the Ochre Mountains. There's a TFR popped up here in the real world, which we'll stay clear of. That TFR through a rocket launch is up to 15.5, so we'll want to stay clear of that. And then it's basically just a straight shot as the crow flies down over the edge of the Great Basin Desert, over Fillmore, past Richfield, and then somewhere around Junction or sooner we'll start our descent, and then into Panguitch. Panguitch is at 6,700 feet, so we'll have to lose quite a bit of altitude, 8,000 feet or so altitude, to make that work. And yeah, we're just going to give it a go, see how everything works. Make sure that my push-to-talk switch and everything is working, which I've been having trouble with in my yoke recently. And do the flight. So, without any further ado, we will switch to the main view and get up and running. I do want to check on PilotEdge and make sure that the radio system is working the way I would like. There's a debug screen. I'll show you here on the right screen so you can see. Where you can debug PilotEdge, and you can see here that it has my levels, and I can enable test mode if I didn't want to be heard on the radio, and see if it'll read my push-to-talk. And it's not reading my push-to-talk. There it is. I've noticed I just have to wake up my yoke. And once I wake up my yoke, it seems to work fine. So, great. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll fire it up. We've got the Vision Jet checklist here. It's basically pretty much the same checklist that we would use in the Cirrus with a few exceptions. Alternators, avionics. We will go ahead and put in a flight plan for this flight. KOGD down to U-55. And that should do that. We have a little traffic here in PilotEdge, which is nice. Some planes flying around. And fuel tanks to both. It's not any mixture or anything like this on the SF-50 because it's turbo. What we do is we turn on the ignition. And then it spins up, which you can see there on the MFD. And in a second here, we'll turn on the radio and we'll get some audio and make sure that we can hear the levels all right. And that's working. Okay, avionics on, strobes, nav. Ignition switch comes off. And let's get the weather, shall we? So let's see, our ATIS is 125.55. Been out of the sim for a little while, so I'm having to refamiliarize myself with the buttonology.
Wind 120 degrees, 7 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear.
Hopefully you guys can hear that okay.
-4. Altimeter 3030. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Uniform.
I'll listen to that one more time.
Ogden headway. Information. Uniform. 1755 Zulu. Arriving runway 21. Departing runway 21. Wind 120 degrees, 7 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 8. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3030. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Uniform.
Okay, 3030. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and put in the ATIS on the backup frequency for Comp 2 while we're at it for Panguitch, which is 133.125.
0 degrees, 7 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 8. Dew point -4.
So I've got program when we get there.
30.
Okay, and let's get our Unicom over to 122.9er. Swap that. And then we are going to pick up flight following. That's going to be with Salt Lake approach, and that should be 121.1. So let's dial that in. I might swap over to see if we hear anything over there. Nothing so far. But my push-to-talk is working, so that's good. So much quieter, the sound of the Vision Jet compared to having the prop run. It's weird. I've also installed some new lighting in the sim, which you can't see, but I've got some puck lighting, which is working really well. It's rechargeable, attaches with magnets. It was quite dark in the sim cockpit before. If I go back to the front view and do sort of a before and after, just add some extra lighting, makes the interior a little brighter. I can make it quite a bit brighter. I don't really want it to be, and then when we fly at night we can turn it red. So I'm curious to see if I have too much glare up on the screen from that. So far it looks like it's okay, but we'll find out. Alright, we're started up. Let's see, let's get our altimeter set to 3030. That's what we had, correct?
Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 8. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3030. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Uniform.
Okay, 3030. We've got our flight plan set. Engines running. We've got some air running in the sim here, keeping it nice and cool. We've got our ATIS runway heading. Let's just diagram the runway really quick here at Ogden. It's always good to visualize. We've got 0321 and 1735. So we're going to be departing 21. We can set our heading bug for 21. Oops. What am I looking at here? Like I said, it's been a while. There we go. Set our heading bug for 21. Get our runway heading on there. So we're basically going to be making a right departure. So we'll be turning right off the upwind leg to get out of the Bravo. And then we'll be out of here. Trims are set, flaps 50%. Okay, flaps 50. Probe heat on, pitot heat on. Target button we've got. Parking brake release. We're not going to have a transponder right now, although I want to be squawking altitude just because we're around the Bravo. Lights are on. Landing light will turn on when we go down there for our lineup. Okay, it's very quiet. Right. So we're going to taxi to 2-1, so let's go ahead and make our call on the CTAF frequency. Make sure we're talking on 122.9, which we are. This says the CTAF is 118.7, Unicom is 122.95. I'm going to presume that they want us on 122.95 actually. That might be an incorrect assumption, but that's what we'll go with. Alright, so we're dialed into that. And we'll call them, we're going to tell them that we're going to taxi via Alpha Bravo, or Alpha, to 2-1. Get ourselves ready to go. Get our scoot. There's our scoot.
Ogden Hinckley traffic.
Oops. We're listening to ourselves. Why are we listening to ourselves? I heard that. Did you hear that?
Ogden Hinckley traffic.
I must be listening to the mic. On. I can hear myself, which is distracting. Let's try that one more time. We go to test mode. Windows, oh, we were in test mode, that was the problem. That's why we could hear ourselves. Sometimes Windows adjusts audio settings when it updates without telling you why. Why it does that? Because it's Windows. Okay, again, we're going to be calling a taxi call Alpha to 2-1. Ogden Hinckley traffic, Cirrus Vision Jet, 15 Juliet Golf is at the GA ramp. We're going to be taxiing Alpha to 2-1 for a departure to the north. Ogden Hinckley. Okay, parking brakes off. No one coming from that side, no one coming from that side. I would love to fly Vision Jet in the real world. I think that would be an amazing experience. This airport is a community-built airport in X-Plane. It's very detailed. I've been working on it in some spare time on my desktop to update it. There's a lot of new hangar objects and ways of representing the buildings now that have probably come a long way since it was originally designed. So hopefully at some point in the next year I get that updated, and we've got a more current Ogden Hinckley in the sim. Tell me 2-1's the departure runway, but from looking at that windsock, I don't know that should be the case. Anyway, we'll stick with, what did they say we had? We said we had 120 at 7. But okay, little crosswind, no problem. I can see the chat's up and running, which is good. With these old Cytec, I bitch about them all the time, but these old Cytec pedals are a hassle to steer with. keep thinking I've got the sensitivities right, but I just don't like to keep us on a straight heading. A little bit moves them a lot. Don't even get me started on the toe brakes. Probably not going to do much of a run up here. I don't have the full run up checklist for the Vision Jet, but we'll go through our flow and make sure everything's set the way it needs to be set. Again, we don't have to worry about things like mixture and fuel pumps, those kinds of things, because it's a jet engine. Yeah, so it's been quite a while since I've been in the sim. I don't know, 3-4 weeks. I just have been too busy to do it. Hoping to, but sometimes you just gotta focus on other stuff that needs your attention. We're running map enhancement is our ortho scenery today. We'll get down here, we'll bug our altimeter, well, our altitude for 7.5 because we want to stay under the Bravo. Okay, let's go through our flow. We're set here, flaps are 50. Let's bug the altitude select to 7,500. Do a control check. That all looks good. Trim set. Landing lights are on. Everything else is good. Make our call. Ogden Hinckley traffic, Cirrus Vision Jet, 15 Juliet Golf, holding short, 21, entering the runway for a departure to the north. Ogden. Nobody coming. Nobody on the traffic. Those turbines sound cool. It's only the second time I've flown this thing in the sim. I flew it into Key West when the first beta 3 came for 12.3 came out for X-Plane. Nobody coming. Okay, we ready? Full power. Everything looks green. Where we need all that rudder. We're on the roll. RPMs as expected. Our engines, instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive. We're on the center line. 50% of our takeoff point by 50%.